Hi everyone, it's your boy Snoot here. No, wait. Hi everyone, it's your boy Snoot here. So this video is going to be a little bit of a wrap up with some info regarding the state of last week's release of update 6 and what we're currently working on. I hope you enjoyed the trailer we put out, by the way. It was kind of like a last second thing, as we originally didn't really plan to make one for this update, but for several reasons we decided to go for it. There also wasn't a patch notes video this time around because we were a bit pressed on time. Jace was still on break and, you know, some things moved around. So making the trailer was really the better option for this update. I will say though, if you really miss seeing the patch notes in a video format, there are a couple of videos made by the community on everything that is new in update 6. So for instance, Satisfactory News has a really good video on everything that is new in update 6. And Kibitz also made one during experimental period, to name a few. So I highly recommend checking these out. I will leave some links in the description. So on the topic of the update, the first thing I want to talk about is this situation with the new build pieces we had to pull from the update. So that's the half foundations, the tilted concave walls, and the roofer corner pieces. If you don't know what I'm talking about, right before the launch of update 6, we released some of these new buildables on the experimental branch. However, we ran into a couple of problems with these build pieces that we didn't realize until they were live. There were some issues with snapping and building, and if you changed the materials on them, they would shift around. So yeah, we couldn't fix these up in time before the launch, so we decided to pull them from the early access release until we had time to fix them and release them a bit later. Well, we're now here today, and we've essentially done that. So as of patch 0.6.1.2, these new build pieces are now available along with everything else in update 6. We're still working on fixing some of the major issues some folks have run into, but for the most part, the build is quite stable, and we've started moving forward with development of the game. So yeah, due to the nature of early access, we can't make the game completely bug-free after each update release, as it would slow down the general development of the game. But like I said, we're still working on fixing some of the major bugs, so don't worry if you feel like we've forgotten about you. We're still here, right? But the vast majority of crashes that we've noticed are due to mods. So if you have mods installed and you're running into a crash, please try to either update the mods you're using or uninstall mods via the community-provided mod manager and see if that resolves your issue. When it comes to any issues with the game and mods, there really isn't anything we can do, as mods aren't officially supported by the game. It's also important to note that just deleting files for mods doesn't necessarily result in a proper uninstall. And you know if mods are still injected if you see this little line in the crash reporter. This indicates that mods are still being injected, and it's likely that they're the culprit. I'm not saying that, you know, we don't screw up. I mean, we screw up all the time. So even if you have mods installed, you can still, you know, get a crash for some reason. But it's important to rule out whether a crash is caused by a mod or not. So that's kind of the point of that. Just want to say also real quick that there's like no shade intended to the modding community. They're doing awesome stuff, and we're so thrilled to see what they're making for the game. So much love for that. But typically after an update release, mods tend to break, which leads to crashes. So just be aware of that. Okay. If you are running into a crash, all you really need to do is hit the send report button, along with maybe writing like a little description of what you were doing when the crash occurred. This really helps us out when we're looking at the call stack and, you know, can't make out what might have caused the crash. For any other issues or feedback you might have about the game, then the best place is to go to our QA site, questions.satisfactorygame.com, and check if somebody has already made a ticket for whatever feedback you might have and upvote that. Or if not, then create your own post, you know. There are a lot of people posting on the QA site, and while we're not able to respond to everyone, we do read everything. If you're reporting an issue, please provide as detailed information as possible so we can reproduce the issue that you're having. And if you believe an issue is specific to your save file, then it would really help us out if you could upload it to a hosting site like Google Drive or something like that, and link it in the ticket so we have an easier time reproducing the issue. And if you are running into a crash and the crash report doesn't pop up, or the game just freezes or, you know, goes straight to desktop, then please report that on the QA site and include your log file in the session. If you don't know where your log files or your save files are stored on your computer, I will include the directories in the description. And yeah, this is really important because if you just go to the QA site and say, you know, like, oh, my game crashed, then, you know, we don't really have anything to go on, and we can't really do anything about it. For some crashes, there are workarounds that are known within the community as well. So yeah, please try to be specific. So while we're on the topic of bugs, by the way, one question that I get very often that I kind of want to bring up in this video is the question like, why haven't you fixed this issue yet? or people saying, you know, like the game's been out for so long and they still haven't fixed this particular thing. Can't be that hard, right? Like they must be incompetent. And let's be honest here, like I'm not playing that up. That is definitely how some people choose to phrase it. And it's a very broad question, you know, it might vary a little bit from case to case, but for the most part, the main reason why something or another hasn't been fixed is because we just haven't got around to it yet. Satisfactory is a massive game, and there are almost endless things to work on for this game. And while we do want to fix bugs, we also need to move forward with development if we're ever gonna finish it. So it's not always possible for us to like switch to maintenance mode for a long time, because it will delay the general development of the game, and a lot of fixes would likely break again down the line anyway, as we're working on making it feature complete. So that is sort of like the unfortunate double-edged sword of, you know, early access titles. We try to make updates as stable and good as we can while we're actively working on them, and we do set aside a substantial chunk of time to fix up stuff people have been asking about, but we also sort of need to move on, which is a great segue into what I'm about to talk about, which is what we're doing next, essentially. So in last week's release stream, I mentioned that we are doing another update to the game that we're calling Update 7 for now. This is going to be another small update. In fact, it's going to be even smaller than this update. We haven't fully decided yet exactly what will go into this update, but mostly it's going to contain some wrap-up of work we've been doing alongside Update 6, as well as the stuff we couldn't finish in Update 6. So for instance, the rest of the creature changes we wanted to do will most likely be part of Update 7. There'll also be some new things as well, but we'll talk about that in another video. Please remember that as of Update 6, we've decided to shift focus of development for the game to reach 1.0, and we're making decisions around what and when we release new content to suit that. So while we've been working on Update 6 and this next update, we've also been working on other things in parallel. That is content we expect to go into the final release of the game that will take longer to finish than what we usually have in between updates. So yeah, just bear that in mind. We've been doing other stuff than just working on Update 6 and 7. So yeah, not too much to talk about yet, unfortunately, but expect some more news regarding Update 7 soon. But that's going to be it for me for now. I hope you have fun with Update 6. Don't forget that we stream every Tuesday at 4 p.m. CST. So if there's anything that wasn't clear here in this video, please join in then if you can, and I'll be happy to elaborate if there's anything you want, or just post a comment or something and I'll see if I can respond to it. But yeah, before I head out though, I just want to really quickly mention that to celebrate reaching more than 200,000 members on our subreddit, we're doing a little contest and giveaway there where you can win merch and keys to the game. So essentially, if you're on the subreddit, post a cool screenshot of your factory or something else in the game using the contest flare, and 2 people will be picked to win, one from community voting and the other one as a favorite pick here from Coffee Stain. Yeah, check the link in the description to the Reddit post if you want to learn more. All right, I'm done. Until next time, have a good one. See ya. Bye. Bye bye. Bye bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. It just never ends.